Hey guys, welcome to Chem Galaxy. So today I'm going to continue my topic of carboxylic acid. And today we are going to study some more of the preparation methods of carboxylic acid in full detail. So don't skip any part of the video, watch the full video because the video will be very knowledgeful for all of you out there. So don't skip any part, watch the full video, alright? So now let's start. As you all can see on the screen, the first preparation method of today's lecture is hydrolysis of acid chlorides, anhydrides, esters and amides. So let me first tell you what are these compounds. These are nothing but acid derivatives. Now what are acid derivatives? So I have taught you as in the previous lecture that the carboxyl group is made up of two groups. One is a carbonyl group and other is a hydroxyl group. So if you replace the hydroxyl group with other groups, what you will get is a acid derivatives. So basically now if you talk about acid chloride, so if you replace the OH group with a chloride group, you will get acid chlorides. If you talking about ester, if you replace the OH group with OR group, you will get esters. Similarly for amide, if you replace the OH group with an NH2 group, you will get amides. So these are basically the acid derivatives. Now how can we prepare carboxylic acid from these derivatives? By simply hydrolyzing it. That is, by treating them with water, we get the corresponding carboxylic acid. Okay. Now, but there is one fact here that all these derivatives does not have the same reactivity towards water. Some of them are more reactive towards water and some of them are less reactive towards water. So that's what we are going to see here, and let us talk some more of the details as well. So let's see that all these acid derivatives upon hydrolysis give the corresponding carboxylic acid that I have already told you. Okay, their ease of hydrolysis follow a trend, as I have told that not all the derivatives have the same reactivity towards water. They follow a particular trend, and that trend has been written in the blue color. As you can see that acid chloride is the most reactive towards water, then comes the acid anhydride, and then comes the ester, and then comes amide. In fact, the acid chloride and acid anhydride react with plain water. Okay, acid chlorides react instantly and acid anhydride react slowly, but to hydrolyze ester and amide we have to use either a mineral acid or a base. So these points should be kept in mind. That's what I have written here also, that acid chlorides react instantly with water, whereas anhydride reacts slowly. Esters and amides get hydrolyzed only when heated with mineral acid or alkali. So I have written one example here also in the green color. You see I have taken here acid chloride. I have taken here acid chloride. You see if this OH group has been replaced by a chloride group. So basically it is an acid chloride, and by simply reacting it with water we do not need any mineral acid or alkali because acid chlorides are quite reactive towards water for hydrolyzing. So we don't need any of the acid or base. So by simply reacting it with water we get the corresponding carboxylic acid. What is the corresponding carboxylic acid? That this acid chloride, how this acid chloride has been formed? By simply replacing the OH group with Cl group. So how can we prepare carboxylic acid from this chloride, from this acid chloride? By simply replacing chloride group with an OH group. That's what I have done here. So same reaction is for rest of acid derivatives as well. So the same reaction will be for rest of the acid derivatives like anhydride, ester, same thing. But in ester and amide only you have to take some amount of acid or a base as well. Now coming to the next preparation method, that is carbonation of Grignard reagents and organolithium compound. So you know Grignard reagent, in short Grignard reagent is RMGX and organolithium compounds are RLI. Okay, so from these reagents also or these compounds also we can prepare carboxylic acid. How? By simply treating or reacting them with dry ice. Now what is dry ice? Dry ice is basically solid carbon dioxide. You have heard that carbon dioxide is gaseous in nature, but if we solidify it, okay, if we convert it into a solid, then that solid carbon dioxide is known as dry ice. So when we react Grignard reagents or organolithium compound with this dry ice, we get the corresponding addition product. Okay, and when we hydrolyze that addition product we get the corresponding carboxylic acid. So let's see what I was talking about, that this is a Grignard reagent, as you can see, RMGX. Okay, and this is carbon dioxide which is a dry ice. Basically this is a solid form of carbon dioxide, and in presence of dry ether we do this reaction because Grignard reagent react very violently with water and we do not want any side products or any side reaction as well. So we keep the whole medium as dry. Okay, we do not need any moisture for this reaction, otherwise side products will be also there. To avoid that, we do this reaction in a dry phase. So under dry ether we do this reaction. So what will happen? First we will get our addition product. As you can see, there is a carbon double bond oxygen. Okay, so this pi bond will be shifted toward the oxygen. Oxygen will get a negative charge, carbon will get a positive charge. Now coming to the Grignard, Grignard will be broken as R minus and MgX plus. Okay, now combine the plus minus together and we will get our final addition product. Now by simply hydrolyzing it, okay, in presence of acid we will hydrolyze it, we get our corresponding carboxylic acid. The same thing goes with the organolithium compound. As you can see, this is an organolithium compound. Similarly, the addition product will be formed. This pi bond will be shifted toward this side. This will be broken as R minus and Li plus, and we will get our addition product. And by simply hydrolyzing it, we will get our final carboxylic acid. Now let us see some of the examples. So to make it more clear, let us see some examples. Like here I have taken this as a Grignard reagent, as you can see, and by simply reacting with dry ice in presence of a dry ether, and second I have written the two reagents in one single box only by numbering it. That first we have to react it with dry, in presence of dry ether we have to react these two, and that the addition product, we will get the addition product, and that addition product will be hydrolyzed. So I have written that in this sequence only. So by doing these two things, the final, what will be the final product? This MgBr will get replaced by a carboxyl group. So that's what here it is. You see this is the R group here also, and this is the same R group here also. Okay, and now this MgBr has been replaced by a carboxyl group. Now same case goes with the organolithium compound. Here Li, under same conditions, here Li will get replaced by a carboxyl group. You see here it is Li, and now in the final product here it is a carboxyl group. So by this you can prepare carboxylic acid as well. Now here is a one point, very good point I must say, that if you are asked to prepare a carboxylic acid from an alkyl halide, okay, and not only to convert alkyl halide into carboxylic acid, but if you are asked to convert alkyl halide into carboxylic acid of one extra carbon, how can you do it, and with good yield as well? So what you should do, with which reaction should you proceed with? So there are three reactions by which you can do this thing. How? First is, I have taught in the previous lecture that by nitriles you can simply convert the alkyl halide into nitriles, and by hydrolyzing it you can convert into carboxylic acid of one extra carbon. Or you can also use these methods, what, like Grignard reagent or lithium, organolithium compound. You can use these two methods as well to convert alkyl halide into carboxylic acid of one extra carbon. You can easily convert alkyl halide into Grignard reagent or organolithium compound, and by simply treating them with dry ice and then hydrolyzing them, you can get carboxylic acid of one extra carbon. So these three methods, by hydrolysis of nitriles and carbonation of Grignard reagent and organolithium compound, by these three methods you can prepare carboxylic acid of one extra carbon from alkyl halides. So these are very good methods, and the yield also, the quantity of product is a lot, that is the yield of carboxylic acid is a lot. So these methods are quite good methods. Now let us see some other preparation methods. So now we will prepare carboxylic acid from active methylene compounds. Now what is the active methylene compound? So before that, let me tell you what is a methylene group. So methylene group is nothing, a CH2 group is known as a methylene group. Okay, now if we attach two groups in such a way that it activates the methylene group, then that compound is known as active methylene group. What do I mean by activating the methylene group? That is, you see the methylene group is a CH2 group. Okay, so by activating I mean that the hydrogen of that methylene group becomes acidic. We should attach such groups that they make the hydrogen of methylene group acidic in nature. Okay, so that's how we can activate the methylene group, and such compounds, by using such compounds we can make carboxylic acid. How? So let us see. So first of the active methylene compound is a malonic ester. So in malonic ester there is a active methylene group. Okay, by active methylene group, I hope you have understood that by active methylene group I want to say that the methylene group has acidic hydrogen. Okay, and by using those acidic hydrogens we will make carboxylic acid. How? So basically you see that I am saying that the methylene group have acidic hydrogens. So what can we do? We react them with a base. So what will happen? It will abstract the acidic hydrogen, okay, and we are left with a carbanion. And then when we will react it with an alkyl halide, the R group will get attached to the carbanion, okay. So this is the first procedure. So let us first see what I am talking about. So from malonic ester, we can prepare carboxylic acid because malonic ester is an active methylene compound. So in malonic ester is a broad name. In it comes a lot of compounds like dimethyl malonate, as I have taken the reactant dimethyl malonate. So you can see here is a methylene group, okay, CH2 group, here is a methylene group, and these you see COOC2H5, a propanoid group. Two of the propanoid groups are attached to this methylene group. As you see, this propanoid groups are minus R effect groups, okay. So because they are minus R effect groups, so they will activate the CH2 group and they will make its hydrogens acidic in nature. So that's what it is going to do. So this is commonly called malonic ester and have a active methylene group, as I have already told you that it has a active methylene group. Because of this two propanoid groups, because of that two propanoid groups, the CH2 group is active, that is its hydrogens are acidic in nature. Now this active methylene group have acidic hydrogen which can be abstracted by strong base, that this I have already told you. Now let us come to the reaction. So you see here I have written diethyl malonate, okay, here is a methylene group with two acidic hydrogens. Now because it is an acidic hydrogen, we can abstract it with a strong base. So I have taken a strong base here. This is sodium ethoxide, okay, it is a strong base. So it will, what it will do, so because the hydrogen of methylene group is acidic in nature, so it will get abstracted as H plus, and here is a O minus, it will get attached here. So ethanol will be removed, and what we will get here is a carbanion. Na plus is because of electrostatic force, the Na plus is getting attached here, okay. Now here is a carbanion. Now what will happen if we treat it with an alkyl halide? So the X minus will be removed and this R plus will get attached here, and what we will get here is a monoalkyl malonic ester. So what we have done here is we have replaced one H group or one H of the active methylene group with a alkyl group, okay. Now you see in this monoalkyl malonic ester there is still one acidic hydrogen left. So we can, by following the same procedure, we can again replace that hydrogen, the remaining acidic hydrogen, and we can attach to it a alkyl group as well. So that's what I have done here, that this is a monoalkyl malonic ester. By following the same procedure, here I have again attached an alkyl group to it. Now here we have got a dialkyl malonic ester as well as a monoalkyl malonic ester in the previous case. Now how to convert these esters into carboxylic acid? So we have to do nothing, we have to first treat them with a base. So what will happen when we treat them with a base? We will get the sodium salt of carboxylic acid. We will get two groups of sodium salt of carboxylic acids which are going to attach to this carbon atom, and when we will heat them strongly, when we get the sodium salt of carboxylic acid, we will then treat them with mineral acid. So the sodium salt will get converted into acids. So we will get two carboxylic acids attached to one carbon atom, okay. And then when we heat it strongly, it undergoes decarboxylation and we will get our final carboxylic acid. So let me show you what I am trying to say through the reaction. Like you see here, I have taken monoalkyl malonic ester, okay. When we react it with the base, what will happen? We will get the sodium salt of carboxylic acid, as you can see, COONA twice, because two of these salts has been attached to a carbon, okay. So this is what we get. Now because it is a sodium salt, so and to convert it into a carboxylic acid, we have to treat it with a mineral acid. So that's what I have done here. I have treated it with hydrochloric acid. So what will happen? This Na will get removed and H will get attached. So here what I get is a carboxylic acid, but the thing is, here there are two carboxylic acid attached to a single carbon atom. We want a monocarboxylic acid, not a dicarboxylic acid. So what we will do, we will heat it strongly. So when we will heat it, one of the carboxylic acid gets converted into carbon dioxide, and this process is known as decarboxylation. Okay, so when we will heat it strongly, one carboxylic acid, one carboxyl group will get converted into carbon dioxide, and the second one will remain attached as it is. So that's what I have shown here, that after heating it, one of the carboxyl group will get converted into carboxylic acid and the second one will remain as it is, and we get our final carboxylic acid. Now if we use a dialkyl malonic ester and following the same procedure, we will get this carboxylic acid. Now you see this, here 2 R are given, here 1 R is given, because we have taken monoalkyl in the first case and dialkyl in the second case. So as you can see, because R can vary, R is a general term, okay, alkyl group is a general term, we can use any alkyl group. So by this method, by malonic esters, we can prepare a variety of carboxylic acids. So that's what I have written here also, that from the above method we can form a variety of carboxylic acids by choosing appropriate alkyl halide, because the R group is of alkyl halide only. In the previous case, when we are making monoalkyl and dialkyl malonic ester, the R group has been derived from this alkyl halide only. So by choosing appropriate alkyl halide, we can make our desired carboxylic acids. Okay. Now, but one thing should be kept in mind, that the alkyl halides should be primary or secondary, not tertiary alkyl halides, because the tertiary alkyl halides prefer to give elimination reaction. So when we will use tertiary alkyl halides, we will get a side reaction and a side product of alkene as well. So to avoid that, we will use primary alkyl halides or secondary alkyl halides only, not a tertiary alkyl halide. So this point should be kept in mind. That's what I have written here in the note section also, that alkyl group of alkyl halide should be either primary or secondary alkyl group. R should not be a tertiary group, otherwise a side elimination reaction will take place. Now let us see another active methylene compound from which we can prepare carboxylic acid, that is from acetoacetic ester. Now you might see the name is quite big, but it is a very simple compound. Let me show you in the reaction only that it is an acetoacetic ester. Okay, how it is an acetoacetic ester? You see, the first two carbons is a CH3CO. Okay, so this group is a aceto group. Okay, the next two carbon is a CH2COO. Okay, so it is an acetic group, right? So this is aceto, this is acetic, and because a OR is been attached to it, so it is an ester. Okay, COOR is the final functional group, so it is an ester. So what's the name become? That this is an aceto group, this is an acetic group, and here because it is an ester group as a functional group is an ester group, that's why it is known as acetoacetic ester. And here particularly I have taken ethyl acetoacetic ester. Okay, you can take any other also, I have particularly taken ethyl acetoacetic ester. Now you see, in this particular ester also we have a active methylene group, where it is, this is an active methylene group. You see, here also this is a minus R effect group, here also this is a minus R effect group. So these two groups will activate this methylene group and its hydrogen will become acidic in nature. Okay, now the same thing will be repeated here also, as I have done in the malonic ester case, that first we will treat it with a base, then treat it with an alkyl halide, so R group will get attached. Same thing will be done here also, that first we have treated it with the sodium ethoxide. Okay, so one hydrogen will get replaced and we'll left with a carbanion. Okay, then when we will treat it with an alkyl halide, this R will get attached here and we will get a monoalkyl acetoacetic ester. And now you see, there is still one acidic hydrogen left. Okay, now so following the same procedure, we can attach and another R group as well. Okay, so I have shown it here also, that here I have left it with an acidic hydrogen. So by treating it with an base, we get a carbanion, and by treating this carbanion with an alkyl halide, so we can attach another R group as well. So I have written here R and R dash, because R alkyl groups can be same also and alkyl groups can be different also. So finally we get is a dialkyl acetoacetic ester. So we can prepare monoalkyl also, we can prepare dialkyl also, by according to our need, according to which carboxylic acid we have to make. According to that we can prepare monoalkyl acetoacetic ester or dialkyl acetoacetic ester. Now how to convert these compounds into carboxylic acid? Same. First we have to treat them with a base and then with an acid. So let me show you. Like here I have taken this dialkyl acetoacetic ester. Okay, now first we will treat it with the potassium hydroxide. Basically it is potassium hydroxide. So it's enolic solution of potassium hydroxide I have taken and heat. So first we will going to treat it with it, and so we will get a potassium salt of carboxylic acid. Okay, now to convert that potassium salt into acid, we will treat it with a mineral acid. So I have written here dilute sulfuric acid also. So there will be some side products as well. In malonic ester there are not much side products, but here we will get some side products as well. Let me show you that. You see the first two carbons, it is an aceto group. Okay, CH3CO is an aceto group. So this will get converted into ethanoic acid as I have shown here. This is in ester group. Here it is C2H5 and O. So this will get converted into an ethanol as I have shown here. And what we are left with are R, C, R dash and CO. Okay, we are left with this much. So this will get converted into a desired carboxylic acid, like I have shown here, that R, C, R dash, COH. This will be our final carboxylic acid. Now if we take monoalkyl acetoacetic ester, and under same condition we will again get the same products, but the only difference is here I have two alkyl groups, here I will have only one alkyl group. So this is how you can prepare carboxylic acid from methylene groups as well, or I must say that active methylene compounds. From active methylene compounds you can prepare a number of carboxylic acid according to your need, as I have shown. Now coming to the last method, or you must say last compound from which, what is happening? So coming to the last compound from which we can prepare carboxylic acid is ketones. We can prepare carboxylic acid from ketones as well. So let us first see how can we prepare carboxylic acid from methyl ketones. So basically what is methyl ketones? So you see the general formula of ketone is RCOR. Okay, so what is methyl ketones? That one of the R should be methyl group. Okay, if one of the R group or alkyl group is a methyl group, so that ketones are known as methyl ketones. So the general formula of methyl ketones are RCOCH3. Okay, so how can we prepare carboxylic acid from methyl ketones? By haloform reactions. So what is a haloform reaction? Basically we react them with a solution of sodium hydroxide and halogen. When we combine sodium hydroxide and halogen, particularly chlorine, bromine or iodine, so what we get is here is a hypohalite solution. Okay, hypohalite solution, and by treating methyl ketone with a hypohalite solution we will get a sodium salt of carboxylic acid. Okay, and by treating that sodium salt with a mineral acid we will get a corresponding carboxylic acid. But one thing should be kept in mind, that if we are for example taking a ketone of for example 4 carbons, okay, so our final carboxylic acid will be of 3 carbons. So whatever be the number of carbons of ketones you are taking, the carboxylic acid what you will get will be a one less carbon carboxylic acid. So let me show you in the example, then it will be more clear also. That let me read first, that methyl ketones on treatment with sodium hypohalite solution, that is the sodium hydroxide plus halogen, gives haloform reaction to give a haloform along with sodium salt of carboxylic acid. For haloform reaction this particular group is must. Yes, this point is very important, that not all carbonyl groups give haloform reaction. Only those carbonyl groups will give haloform reaction which have this COCH3 group. Okay, now let me show you one example. So here I have taken this a methyl ketone. Okay, this is a methyl ketone because one of its alkyl group is a methyl group. So by treating it with a sodium hypoiodide solution, this is a sodium hypoiodide solution. Okay, so what we will get here is a 4 carbon carboxylic, here is a 4 carbon ketone. So we will get a sodium salt of 3 carbon. We will get a sodium salt of carboxylic acid of 3 carbons. So you see here are 3 sodium salt of carboxylic acid with 3 carbons, okay, and one of this methyl group will get converted into iodoform because I have taken here iodine. If I would have taken here chlorine, then chloroform will be formed, and if I have taken here bromine, so bromoform will be formed. So we are not concerned about the haloform, we are concerned about the sodium salt. So here what we get is a sodium salt, and now by simply treating it with the mineral acid, we will get our final carboxylic acid as I have shown here. Okay, so from this method we can convert methyl ketones to carboxylic acid. This is known as a haloform reaction. Okay, now coming to the last method by which ketones can be converted into carboxylic acid is a Baeyer-Villiger oxidation. It is a named reaction, it is Baeyer-Villiger oxidation. So what we will do here is we will react carboxylic acid with per acids. What are per acids? Such acids, organic, per acid which are organic. Okay, so in per acid, what is per acid? Basically per acids have oxygen linkage. Okay, so when we will treat ketones with that per acid, we will get esters. Okay, and you know esters can be converted into carboxylic acid by simply hydrolyzing it, but in presence of acid because they are less reactive. Okay, so that's how you can prepare carboxylic acids from Baeyer-Villiger oxidation. So let me show you. Here I have taken is a ketone, okay, and here is a benzoic peroxide. I'm sorry, here is a benzoic peracid because here you see there is an oxygen bond. So here what I have is a benzoic peracid. So now when we treat this ketone with a benzoic peracid, what we will get here is an ester, okay, and benzoic acid as a side product. Now by simply hydrolyzing this ester, we will get our carboxylic acid. So basically this is how you can prepare carboxylic acid. I have told you a number of methods by which you can prepare carboxylic acid. So that's all for today. I hope you have understood whatever I have taught. If you have understood, do give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and you can comment down any queries if you want. Okay, so now I will see you all in the next video. Till then, this is Akash Shukla signing off.